Hello everybody, and welcome to my video guide for the fastest acquisition of heirlooms on WoW-Mania, a private server. A lot of information to try to communicate while doing a lot of things in game. So I just want to start by saying what we're going to do is make a Horde Warlock. I've chosen Forsaken for reasons which shall become apparent. Now on this server, right away you get to pick your XP. I'm choosing 6x, which is a VIP option. I will get into that more in a bit. Also, this server has double XP weekends from 2300 server time on Friday to 2300 server time on Sunday. And here's a targeting macro. We're going to get rid of this line here. You can pause the video. It's not going to come up for a while anyways, and I will explain more when we get to that point. So, and one of the things you can buy is VIP status. It costs 6 Great Britain pounds, which comes to just over $8 US. And I think it's worth it, not just because of the cost, but because this server is well put together, well maintained. And I don't want this video to be a review of the server itself, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. Suffice it to say, I am a strong believer in justice, and what that means is that if you are receiving value, you should be returning value. I've received a good deal of value from the server, so I'm happy to contribute. And it just so happens that if you do that, you get the option to have 4 and 6 times XP. Now, we're not going to train everything for the sake of saving money, but for now the point is simply to kill everything, turn in everything. That's going to be the general strategy. So, one thing I want to cover is that it does not matter if you plan on playing Alliance or what you plan on maining. And the reason for that is because the server does allow for cross-faction mail and chat. Even though I'm doing this all as a Horde, if I wanted to play Alliance, I can send all my stuff to my Alliance characters. Now, to be specific here, this is a video guide. It is just meant to be a guide. So if you choose to do this without VIP status, as Alliance, not as Forsaken, not on double XP weekend, all of that is perfectly fine. Just know that it's going to be a slower process, and for that reason you are going to have to pick out quests or other quests other than what is featured in this guide. This guide's meant to be as direct as possible as far as that goes. And there we go. That should be everything that we need to pull. So I'm going to start combat. When you hit level 10, you'll get 5 Maniac Points. At level 20, you get 10 more. And then every 10 levels starting at 30, you'll get 15 more. And that's what makes level 30 the sweet spot. It's the shortest distance to getting the most amount of tickets. So the idea is we're going to basically blitz to 30 and then delete the character and blitz to 30 again. Now, to get to that goal, right now what we're looking at is getting to level 10, and there's a few reasons for this. Most importantly, that we get to use the mailbox at level 10. This is very important. This is a restriction on this server. If you're new or a new character, you cannot use the mailbox until 10. So even though I do have heirlooms that will suit this warlock, I can't make use of them. Just about all the quests are going to be low kill counts and stuff. There is going to be a bit of running around, but I still think that's the best use of our time overall. Something else I wanted to cover is the other advantages of getting to 10 is not just the use of the mailbox, but also on this server you get riding training and a mount at level 10, and that makes things go faster as well. And then also you get this item. It's like a second Hearthstone, but you don't set the location. It takes you to the in-game WoW-Mania Mall. And Not going to go too much into the mall, but why that's beneficial for us is because in the mall is portals to all the cities, kind of like in Dalaran. After that to Orgrimmar, because in the Barrens we're going to get the best XP and stuff like that. So there we go. There's 5 Maniac Points we just received. There's our secondary Hearthstone. I'm going to go ahead and use it just so that we can get its cooldown going. I am going to also, let's get that mount onto the action bar so we can start using it. Now if you listen closely, the music here is actually louder than the background music everywhere else. And even after you zone out, that music persists in addition to the existing music. So it can be a bit distracting. So usually what I do after I leave the mall is I log out and log back in, which we will do momentarily. Now the reason why I came to Shattrath is because, like I said, we're going to be going to Undercity and then Orgrimmar, both within a period much less than an hour. Now because this is a custom item, it doesn't do the shaded radial cooldown thing. Tooltip doesn't indicate the cooldown, but it is a 1 hour cooldown. So that's a parameter we need to operate within. By setting our Hearthstone to Shattrath, we can basically hop into Undercity right now, and once we're done with our business there, come right back and go to Orgrimmar. Obviously, as you can see, the reason we chose Scryer Tier is because we can actually flop right off that without killing ourselves, which is very handy. Speaking of handy, the portal to Undercity just happens to drop us off right where the Warlock quests and trainers are. Now one mistake I did just make is while we were in Shattrath at the inn, I meant to log out to not only kill the louder background music like I said, but also to go ahead and send over, see, Curse of Agony, Drain Soul. We don't need Fear for this purpose. We will go ahead and do Demon Skin, but that's not actually necessary. But we're actually meaning to leave throughout the sewers here, just because right outside is where the book for the quest is. Alright, so let's go ahead and send over all the heirlooms that we have. And again, all of these were acquired through the very method that I'm showing you. The whole point is to just repeat it over and over and over again. It's the fastest way to accrue the Maniac Points. Now I did want to point out again that this is just a guide. So what I mean by that is if you want to level a Warlock to 80 or some other class, by all means don't just stop at 30 and delete the character and go from there. Play it up to 80, because at 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 you're going to get 15 more Maniac Points each. And what is that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 5 times 15. That's another 75 Maniac Points you're going to get just from leveling a character that you would level anyways. Now I would recommend that you use this technique to get that one character outfitted, just so that time is the quickest, but that's entirely your call. Alright, sorry for the slight loss of time there. And speaking of lost time, I did mean to do this when I hit 10. If you do the math there, we hit level 10 at under 15 minutes. Void Walker, and we don't actually need a tank to hold aggro. Especially with the heirlooms, we're just gonna kill stuff anyways. But like I said, the class quest is XP, so there is that. And that's one way to heal. We'll go ahead and plot that while we are killing this guy. And there we go. We'll get rid of this guy too. Now the fact that we are Forsaken, we do have access to Cannibalize. However, we are not really going to be killing hardly any humanoids. Matches your XP, so as you're leveling, you can kind of keep up with all that. Alright, gotta try and remember to kill this guy with Drained Soul so that we have a Soul Shard with which to summon him once he's ours. Just go ahead and dot him up and then drain his soul. Apparently we leveled up and didn't plot a point, so I'll go do that now, get some extra stamina. For me and my pet, I believe. There's the Soul Shard. And there is a level and that. So we will get him out, but at first I'm going to go ahead and hearth just to get that on cooldown.
You know, we've had a lot of fun together. It's been really special, but
Wow, it's like he knows he's getting ditched. That's cool. Now when we're in Orgrimmar, it's very important that we grab the flight path so that we can get back easier. Because we're going to be moving our Hearthstone along the way, so we're not going to be able to rely on that. And of course the Maulstone, whatever it's called, has a 1 hour cooldown. So a little tip moving forward is that every time that we go to level up, we're going to try and have our minion out, and the reason for that is because Wrath of the Lich King was the first time that mounting took your pet away, which means the pet is not going to heal. However, if the pet is out when you level up, then the act of leveling up will heal it up to full as well. So, little tip for you there. As for now, we're basically just going to run south. If you've Alliance and never played Horde, the exit of Orgrimmar is to the south. We're just going to run south. There's a go to the center of the city, start heading west, and at the outskirts is conscript to the Horde. Okay, as you head down west from Razor Hill, follow the path, you'll come to this covered bridge. It's a very conspicuous landmark, and just over the bridge is the NPC. So we turn that in. First thing you want to do when you get into town is, just so you don't forget later, grab the flight path, because we're going to be making use of that. Okay, and now we're going to turn in the Crossroads conscription. That should level us up, even if I hadn't killed that other one. And then we'll take the follow-up quest, which is going to happen. Okay, now we're not only going to grab this quest, but since it is available, we're going to go down to this guy, Mancrick, and get lost in battle. Okay, we've just entered Ratchet, and this little house over in the distance here, that's where the Warlock trainers are. Approaching from this angle, we might as well hit it first. The quest giver for Raptor Horns is right here, but I don't think it's an easy to get up here from there as it is to get down there from here. Okay, definitely corruption, drain life. Life tap is kind of optional, but I would recommend doing it. It's even better if you do. None of this is necessary. And we're done with Immolate now that we have drain life, so we're not going to bother with that. We'll keep it handy just in case.
Time is money, friend. Keep it real.
And here we are. So I will see you guys in the Crossroads.
On to me. Right back.
Okay, about to land in the Crossroads, and we're mostly just here to turn in the Gevra and pick up Prowlers, Barrens Prowlers, I forget the exact name of the quest, but we're going to be killing Prowlers for it. Prowlers of the Bear. So here is that guy. Kulkar leaders. Yeah, Barrack's head. Alright, there's Barrack, the real big guy. And it does look like we're going to pull a gray with him. That's unfortunate, but what can you do? Actually, the gray doesn't appear to be interested in us. That's pretty fascinating to me. And then I'm just going to drain life again. He's walking that, even though, yeah. And that gray one, there we go. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Get it killed off. It would be interesting to see if just grinding on those mobs over and over and over again, since they just keep reappearing, would be a worthwhile way to get XP instead of questing at all. Okay, we're coming into the Crossroads, and this is going to level us to 20. So I want to show you the Maniac Points. I want to hit the Plaid, and I also want to point out that even though we got free riding, it's still going to send you the mail to go for riding training. So make sure you delete that, simply because when it comes time to delete the character itself, you're not going to be able to if you have male. So let's just do that now. And we did just get Soul Link, so let's go ahead and not only cast it, but put it on the bar. And now I will hit played, and you can see it's 48 minutes. Okay, we're approaching the Heiaki point of interest. It is a bit of a jog, but we do have the mount, and it's just one kill, and it unlocks a chain which allows us to double dip on the raptors, and which takes place right outside where Mancrick's wife is. So it's a very dense XP, so it's totally worth it in the long run. Okay, returning to the Crossroads now. I did want to point out once again that for the most part the talent points aren't going to matter from here on out. I'll put them into Demonic Aegis first, just because it does technically improve us. Okay, you can already see we just passed this whole area, and we are approaching this mound here. That's where these colored nests are, and that's where all these raptors are going to be. And that tent off in the distance is where Mancrick's wife can be found. But first, we got to do this. And as you can see, calling one already pulled another, which is fine, because we are going to go ahead and basically chain these guys. That's the important thing. But anyways, there's these little troughs through here. We'll probably find one in there. There's usually one close to the tent. We want to try and keep it a little reserved as far as our radius goes, though, because one of the things that you'll find that's a bit quirky about this server, that I don't particularly care for, but some people might, is that there are places, especially in Southern Barrens and Desolus, that just flag you for free-for-all. Not even PvP, but free-for-all, to where anybody could attack you. Still, I wish they would change, but I did want to reiterate that I love everything about this server. It's authentic in all the ways that are useful. Anyways, before I get too far ahead of myself, there's a mob around here called the Kodamani, and he's one of 3 mobs that we're going to target. It's basically to the west-southwest of Mancrick's wife. He's neutral, more of a gray in color. Looks like these Stegodon-looking things. There he is. He's one of 3 mobs that we're going to be targeting along the way, that basically you kill them and they give you an item which starts a quest that gives you a full quest worth of XP. 1 kill, and of course the only real downside is you don't get the quest from a quest hub. You just got to kind of know that these are out there, or happen to kill them for no good reason. So anyways, there's that, and now we're going to head to Camp Taurajo. Now this quest here is called Weapons of Choice. It takes place down in Southern Barrens, right around where we would be killing Washed Upon anyways. So if you don't have heirlooms and you're worried about not quite making it to 30, that is a good quest to pick up. Usually only have to kill a few mobs, but anyways, it is very important that you set your Hearthstone here. When we go on the Succubus quest chain, it's going to take us really far out of the way, and that's going to be a handy way to get back on track without wasting too much time. So let's go ahead and grab this, and I will see you guys in the Crossroads. We're going to be leveling up a lot here, so it's not really important that we dismount here, I don't think. Okay, about to land in Ratchet. I'm not going to bother visiting the Warlock trainers here, because next we're going to go down the Succubus quest line, which literally originates from the Warlock trainer. But, that said, an interesting little factoid, I don't know if you noticed, but when we were talking to the Warlock trainers here, their names were green, like we were friendly with them, whereas we're only neutral with Orgrimmar. So technically, you would be able to save an ever so slight piece of gold by training here rather than in Orgrimmar. About to land in Orgrimmar, and I did want to quickly talk about this Jorn Skyseer quest that we picked up. That was after we dropped off the Raptor quest in Crossroads. Jorn Skyseer is where we turned in Kodamani in Camp Taurajo. Now the rest of this chain is Ishamu Hail, which is a 1-kill quest, followed by a quest to kill 3 Thunder Lizards, followed by a quest to kill 1 Thunder Hawk. Those mobs, other than Ishamu Hail, are all right outside Camp Taurajo. So if you are really worried about not having the XP to get to 30 because you don't have Heirlooms, that is a decent chain for you to follow up. It doesn't take very long. The only problem you're going to find is that, especially with chasing after the Succubus like we are, that those quests are all going to be great, but still at 12 times XP, that's a good chunk of XP. Because we basically only have to go to places we already want to be, or short, not far away from them. Whereas the one in Eastern Kingdoms, you actually have to go deep into Silver Pine, as well as all the way into the wetlands, which requires you to travel through Arathi Basin, which is significantly, well, maybe not significantly at this point, but higher level than you, and therefore that much more dangerous. Anyways, you can see we got to go to the crossroads, so I will see you guys there to continue this chain. About to land in Crossroads. This is just going to be a quick turn-in, followed by a run into Stonetalon Mountains. This next quest sends us into Malacca Jin, which unfortunately is a bit off the beaten path. Okay, I'm coming back to record a little bit early here because if you've ever done a Horde guide, you already know these NPCs before. But there's a little bit of a story I'd like to share with you guys. Hopefully you don't find it too boring. Over here on the left is a path. And it's basically a shortcut from right here to Malacca Jin to prevent you from having to go through this whole, Tauren area. But what's interesting about it, at least to me, is that I had played World of Warcraft from Burning Crusade through Mists of Pandaria, and then a little bit off and on after that in Warlords and Legion. And even when I was a serious player, because I lost interest more or less after Wrath of the Lich King, I think Cataclysm and Beyond really took the game downhill. So even when I did play, I mostly spent my time in the lower level zones. Not necessarily Azeroth, but, because I preferred leveling over being leveled. Anyways, so for years I had played the game, and I never knew about this path until Warcraft Classic came out. I was being all nostalgic, thought, oh, I never saw that before, I wonder where it goes, and was shocked to find it's a very useful shortcut. Anyways, this next part takes us to Camp Taurajo, so we're just going to hit that Hearthstone and take the quick route. Okay, so first we're going to turn in Jor's Skyseer. I'm not going to take Ishamu Hail, but again, it's just a couple kills. The follow-up is 3 kills, the follow-up to that is 1 kill. They're all going to be gray at this point, but they still yield decent XP, and you will definitely hit level 30 even if you don't have the Heirlooms. Alright, so basically now we got to travel up into the Barrens. There we go. There's going to be a guy. Now, just for the sake of dismounting, I'm going to go ahead and kill this one just to make sure it's good and safe for us. There we go. Basically from here on, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, I should have pointed out, if this is on a cooldown, it says we got 3 minutes remaining, you can just use this and go back to Orgrimmar, because that's where we have to head now. Okay, about to land in Orgrimmar. It's really straight shot from here on out. We got a couple of these Succubus quests left, and then we're going to go kill Watanka and Washed Pawn, and then that's it. We'll be 30. Have 30 Maniac Points and go buy something with them. Okay, that brings us to 29, I believe. Or 20, I don't know. It doesn't much matter. 28, I guess. Alright, just like before, we got to make sure we kill her with Drained Soul. Oh, you know what? She doesn't yield XP at this point, I don't think. I don't think Drained Souling her is going to do anything. Now, see, that's funny because I actually only have yeah. It's funny because I only have 2 kills at this point, so I don't actually even need the Succubus, really. Oops. But it's been a lot of really great XP, so I am not going to complain. Actually, you know what? Sometimes on this server, when you log out while your pet's active, it takes the pet and gives you... See how the pet's not in the background there? It takes the pet and gives you the soul shard. I don't know if that... Yeah, there we go. Alright, so that works out. Okay, home stretch. We're about to land in Camp Taurajo. Okay, Awatonka is a blue stegodon looking thing. It's actually... See the one? Get in here and slam them down. And, there we go. Wow. He's out there, huh? Okay, so let's... Piece of cake. Now we're gonna head south by southwest. There he is. And of course, if your Hearthstone is available, you can just go ahead and use that to hearth back to Camp Taurajo. Mine is not, so I will see you guys back there. It's possible. Turning in both of these will most certainly get us to level 30. Obviously, it does not matter where you put your talent point, because we're just going to delete this character. Clearly, you can see we are up to 30 Maniac Points now, so let's go ahead and teleport to the mall. Now, as luck would have it, the very first NPC when you get here is, in fact, the heirloom vendor. And as you can see, it's 50 for everything held in hand. Everything else is 25. So, obviously, at this point, let's see here, I've got the leather agility shoulders, but not the chest yet, so let us go ahead. Shadowcraft, right? Yep. There we go. There's a fresh heirloom. And then all you gotta do is basically sell off all your stuff, start setting aside the stuff that you want to send to your alt, because this character is just going to get deleted to be rerun, essentially. So we'll take off all of the heirlooms and stuff. Also, you might as well hold on to cloth, because that's something that you can stack up and sell for a slight profit. But yeah, and sell off the bags and then send everything to the alt that is going to hold on to things for you while you gain it. And I basically used this exact method for getting all of those heirlooms this Warlock wore for the purpose of this demonstration. And that's also part of the reason why the path I took was so tight, because I've been practicing it. I've done this several times over now. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, we'll just mail all that stuff. Yep. And we got total gold here and what it's going to cost to send it. So let's say 276.44. Yep. And that wipes us completely out. I'm just going to walk over to one of these portals now, because this is not actually an end, so I can't get instant log out. And we'll log out, and there you go. You are all set to do it all over again. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this project. I've had to record it several times. This time actually looks like it turned out very well, so I'm very pleased with that. If you've not played on the server, I hope you will check it out. It's well worth the while. I plan on making a review very soon as to why I like it as much as I do. If you already play on it, I hope this was informative and that you can start getting those heirlooms that you might want. Either way, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.